We're in the heat of indoor track season right now, and for this week's Catholic High School Spotlight, we bring in St. Francis's head track and field coach, Jim Neary. Coach, thanks so much for joining me, and how's the season going so far?
Thank you for the invitation. The indoor season has been a lot of fun. We've got a nice group of kids that have been showing up. We get the auxiliary gym early morning or the weight room early morning since we're off season, so they're excited. They're kind of devoting a lot of time, and it's not very often you get kids out of bed before 6:30 to work out, but they've been doing a great job showing up and putting in the work.
The Knights have quite a tradition in distance running, finding success there. Where does that come from?
It stems way back to the 1980s. Coach Gary Bryan, who was there prior to me, and then when I took over for him, I just learned a lot about the work they put in, the commitment to the miles and to the strategy of distance racing that some people don't often recognize. And so from his beginnings through the time I spent as head coach, and now Aaron Alsergali, who's our head track distance coach and cross country coach now, he's kept the tradition rolling and even taken us to some newer heights with some of the recent success that we've had at the state meet in cross country.
One of your stronger distance runners is Ethan Cope, who was a podium placer at state last spring. What makes him such a special runner?
He's just a fierce competitor. He's not afraid of the work. He likes to put in the time to make himself better physically with the training. He's over the years learned a little bit more about how to race different styles. In the race like the 1600, for example, you can't always lead it. Sometimes you have to sit in and read the pace and then kick. So he's learned a lot of strategy, and he just loves to compete. He loves to win. Sometimes that's the thing we've got to help him realize is it's not always about winning every time. You have to sort of develop throughout the season so that you're at the best when it counts at the end.
He was recently part of the 4x8 relay that set an indoor school record. In your eyes, what does it take to be part of a successful relay team?
I think when you run the relay, a lot of kids get excited because they somewhat relax and they lose sight of maybe if it's a PR for them or how they're going to do relative to their own goals, and they just get the baton in their hand and they don't want to let their teammates down. So we put them there in a race down at Wittenberg, and it was a tremendous field. And so sometimes you get the baton in hand surrounded by really good competition, and you just don't want to let your teammates down. And so those guys all ran personal best for the season so far and put together a nice sub-8 relay in the indoor, which is pretty phenomenal.
When it comes to this spring, this will be your first time as formally the head coach for St. Francis's track team. Just what are you most excited about for this kind of new challenge, truly in that head coaching role?
Yeah, I've coached since 2002 at St. Francis as the head cross-country coach for a while, and I've been with the track program since that time and working under George Schaefer, who was our longtime coach. I just learned how special it is to put together a full track and field team. You need to rely on so many different types of athletes. You got to have some of the throwers and then your specialties with jumps and vaults, and then you got to get a little speed with a little distance so you can be competitive across the board. So I think as the head coach, that's what I'm most looking forward to, is just a great staff I've put together and entrusting them with their own disciplines and then trying to be in charge of bringing it all together and making sure that we're putting a good competitive team out there each weekend and looking forward to the competition at the new league.
You brought up the new league. What kind of competition can you look forward to, and what do you know about the Catholic High School League of Detroit?
Well, throughout the football season and basketball season, I've seen some tremendous athleticism on the field and on the court. So I can only imagine if those athletes are coming out for track that we're going to have a real high level of competition. We learned a lot through the cross-country season that there's some great distance runners up there in the CHSL, and I think, as I mentioned in the other sports here with football and basketball being very competitive, I think we're going to see some good sprints and jumps and throwers as well.
Can't wait to see what the competition looks like in the spring, and we wish you the best of luck coming up in March with the Indoor State Championship. So thanks so much for joining me today.
I appreciate it.